Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we'll be talking about time management and how you can master the skill of time management, allowing you to do as many things as possible in the same time that you've got at the moment. In this video we're talking about our 5 top tips that will help you do so many more things and achieve your goals and your dreams. So today I'm with Zeb, a friend I met at a massive get-together of all the filmmakers and YouTubers here at Cambridge. And I'll actually let you introduce yourself. So guys, meet Zeb.
Sure, hi, I'm Zeb. My channel's called Film by Zeb. And instead of really telling you about my channel, we thought it would be a better idea if I just show you a few clips of the kind of things that I make. So let's... Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel here in 2018.
Week 5 blues.
Any South University gives?
Have a healthy lifestyle for one day.
Yes, that's all.
It's snowing, man.
88 lectures, 26 supervision, 2 paths of paper.
That's a small insight into the kind of things that I make. If you want to see more of that, be sure to check it out. More about me though, I'm a first-year computer scientist and I go to Queen's College, which is where we're filming here in my lovely room.
It's really nice. I didn't expect it to be this nice because I hadn't actually visited Queen's before.
Yeah, really.
And I came and I was just like, wow, these buildings are so nice. Oh, but Jesus, this is still quite nice. So you study
Computer science.
Sorry,
That's right.
you said. And you're 2 times in now.
That's right, yeah. So it's been a lot of fun so far. Computer science is a pretty sort of intensive course, so we're going to talk about how you manage your time with that kind of thing, because on top of my course, I also do a lot of other things. I'm a member of the JCR committee here. I'm in the sort of events team here as well. I'm the film rep, actually, which sort of links to my YouTube channel because I'm really into cinematography and that kind of thing and storytelling. So a lot of my videos are really... it's like a capturing my memories, because I feel like I forget a lot of things, and when I make a video about like an experience I have, it's like always there to look back on. Yeah. And people seem to enjoy it as well, so be sure to come check that out if that sounds like something you're into.
Yeah, so I'll make sure to link the channel down below so it's easy for you guys. If you guys are new to the channel, I'm Sen. I'm a second-year medic at Jesus College. And yes, welcome to my channel. With no further ado, let's get to the video.
Great, so we're going to be talking about time management. So I know a lot of your audience are students who are really concerned about how they can try to how they can try to learn their course, their A-levels, their GCSEs, be they at uni as well, and also sort of fit other things that they want to do, because something I was told a lot in my life was you should really just focus on your work, and that way, you know, you can keep achieving things. If you distract yourself too much with other things, you might not be able to succeed as much. But I think, personally for me, and I think this is true for a lot of people, is that the more sort of extracurricular activities that you get up to, the more projects you have, whatever your passion is, music, theatre, making YouTube videos, I think it actually helps you be more productive in your actual course. That might seem sort of counterintuitive, but I think that's true.
And in all parts of life, time management is crucial for success. Hopefully these tips will give you a small step towards better time management. And I guess once you figure it out for yourself, things will be much easier. So let's get to the tips. Tip number 1, find things to do. You can't manage time if you don't have anything to manage. So first and foremost, as well as doing work, go do things that you're interested in. If you are interested in playing the piano, if you are interested in playing the violin, or if you're interested in a certain type of theatre, if you're interested in playing a certain sport, go and get started with it. Why are you waiting? These interests are really important because they teach you new skills. You meet new friends, you meet new people. And of course, work is important, but finding these new things and finding other interests are just as important, in my opinion. So tip 1, although it seems very simple, find more things to do that you enjoy.
In the last 4 days, I haven't really had any sort of projects, so it's meant that I've actually just been really lazy and not done any work as well. And I found that a few weeks ago I had sort of the busiest week of my life. I was doing a play at the ADC, I was filming loads of projects for other people, and on top of all that, I still had to find time to do my actual degree. During that week was actually sort of the most alive that I felt while being here, because I was just doing so much and having a really great time. Right, so now that you have lots of things to do, you have to find a way to actually manage all those things. So you don't want to be sort of walking around constantly thinking about all the things you have to do before the end of the day. So the first thing to do is write it all down. I know a lot of people like to block things out in sort of time-based systems. You know, say like 10 to 12, I'm going to do this bit of supervision work, or going to revise this subject for my A-levels, or going to, you know, work for this test or something like that. And that might work really well for some people, but personally, I just think it stresses me out because I'm constantly checking the time, thinking, oh no, I only have 15 more minutes to do this, and then I need to have a break. And you know that when a break is a stressful experience, that you're probably doing it wrong. So my personal system is to use a bullet journal, and I know a lot of people have very complicated bullet journals with sort of flowery patterns and incredibly, you know, complicated systems where they record absolutely everything. And I feel like it's sort of counterproductive if you're spending all your time on managing your time. Yeah. So mine is very simple. I just have the day of the week, and then I have bullet points for all the things I want to get done that day. And I might not finish all those things, and that's fine because I just sort of write a little arrow, move it to a different day, and things eventually get done. And it's completely a free system. You can do whatever you want. There are so many YouTube videos about bullet journals, it's ridiculous. But yeah, you can just sort of browse around to see what system works best for you. It's so satisfying to tick things off as well. Like the first thing, if you're writing a list, is make a list. Because you always have one thing that you can tick off.
Exactly. And like, as opposed to if you have it in your mind, as soon as you finish one, you forget about it, but there's no satisfaction.
There's no satisfaction, exactly.
And like, us humans were set up to, you know, appreciate rewards. We work towards rewards. And so by, you know, giving yourself this reward-based system, so even the small action of taking something off will be so satisfying that it will probably motivate you to do, you know, to do even more, try and take everything else off. So do you see, it's just about motivating yourself and finding ways to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
And just enjoying what you're doing.
I know a lot of people who use like little motivational things as well, like once I finish this, I'll give myself an Oreo or something like that. Or just like a little break between each thing that you complete as well.
And you just think, oh, if I finish this, I can get that. So let's just do this quickly. Why waste time just sitting around?
Another thing I would say to build on that point is make your tasks as specific as possible. Don't just write work on this bit of work or revise this subject. You want to say, I'm going to make sure that by the end of today, I know sort of this fact from this subject or something like that. Because then, first of all, it's very easy to complete a very small task and you get that satisfaction.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a very large open-ended task, you're probably unlikely to get it done.
Well, even with work, if you say, you know, let's write an essay, if you say I'm going to write the first 2 paragraphs, you finish the first 2 paragraphs, that's completed. As opposed to saying I'm going to write the essay once, I'm going to write the essay twice. You're writing the essay for like 4 days in that case. Whereas if you split it up, each day you're doing something different technically. It will just split things up a bit. And again, it will help you be more positive about what you're doing and just enjoy it. Tip 3 is, as well as noting things down in a bullet point based system, make sure you get a calendar. So I'm sure a lot of you will have timetables from school or from university, and use this calendar to plan your work. So sometimes you might have a supervision or a small group lesson or a class of some sort, and then you might get some work. Now what's important is that you plan when you do this work. I'd recommend that you try and do this work as soon as you get it, to avoid the work piling up. The last thing you want is to have 2 essays and a problem sheet that's due tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. What you want to do is the night you get the piece of work, think realistically. Right, can I finish it up tonight? That would be ideal. If not, can I do it tomorrow or the day after? Try your best to not leave it to the night before. Because who knows, the night before this essay is due, you might be set another essay, or you might end up having another class of some sort. And suddenly the time that you were meant to do the work in has disappeared. And then you'll have to give your work in late. So what's really important is that you do things as you get it, or at least try and do it at a reasonable time point in between of the work being set and the deadline.
When you get given a piece of work, it's likely that you've just covered the material for that piece of work as well. And if you wait a week after you've been set the work, you're probably going to have forgotten most of the stuff you need to actually be able to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just going to take longer in that case. And another thing I try to do is get the piece of work that I'm dreading the most. I try to get that done first, or at least sort of half of it, because then that amount of stress has just been relieved. Otherwise, if I do all of the easy things first, I just have that in the back of my mind the whole time. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to need to spend hours and hours on this later. Whereas if you get part of it done first, you know, it might end up being less work than you imagined in the first place as well.
It's like maybe walking up a big hill. This big task that's worrying you is a massive long climb to the top of a hill. The other small challenges are smaller climbs. So instead of, you know, leaving this large hill climb to the end of all the climbs, just do it at the beginning. Then everything else is just a small sort of, you know, flying through it, bashing it through. It's fun at the end. Whereas if you leave the big task till the end, you'll do all these fun things quite quickly. Then you won't actually enjoy them because you realise that at the end of doing all these fun things, you've got this massive, daunting task that you want to finish. And at the end of the day, you're going to have tasks like this. So you might as well find a system to help you have fun whilst doing it, as opposed to simply dreading it each time and every time that you get it. Keep on top of things, and just a bit of discipline here. Stick to when your work is set, and just get it done as you get it. And please do try and avoid all-nighters. They're not recommended, and this is coming from 2 Cambridge students.
So tip 4. This tip comes from the JCR computer officer, myself, and I'm ironically going to tell you...
Before we continue, what does JCR stand for? No, everyone
Right. So JCR annoyingly stands for 3 things. It's the committee that represents the students. Mm-hmm. It's also all of the students, all of the undergraduates in a college. It stands for Junior Common Room, by the way. And it's also the actual room, the actual common room that we have. So it's very confusing to talk about the JCR.
But now you know what it's kind of about.
Yeah.
So you're the JCR computer.
I'm the computer officer on my committee. It's not that much. It's more like I'm their tech guy, basically.
Yeah.
And I would advise people to switch off from the internet when they're working. Because I found that if I'm trying to do my work and I've got like Facebook Messenger up in front of me, or I'm watching a YouTube video or something, I'm just not going to be, I'm not going to be productive at all. So I really advise, if you're going to try to get something done, if you want to be as efficient as possible, I advise you just turn off your Wi-Fi for an hour and just focus. Or just turn off notifications, because I tend to listen to music when I work as well.
Yeah.
So something like
You can't disconnect it.
You can't fully disconnect. Yeah, but Spotify playlists, relaxing music. We were talking about this before. The sort of random concentration playlists that you find on YouTube.
I think a lot of people have actually asked me about what sort of music I listen to when I'm working. So maybe we could do another collaboration in the future, looking at what sort of music is most effective for when you work. Do you listen to some hardcore hip hop beats?
Rap.
Yeah, spitting those bars, or do you listen to something more relaxing that can help you actually focus on the work? Both are quite good, I'd say, but there are different times for different types of music, in my opinion. But actually, switching off, you mentioned, is quite important. At least your phone. Turn that off, in my opinion, and put it away for 2 hours. Say I'll get it back at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, I'll spend 20 minutes looking at all the hundreds of messages, hopefully, that you've got. And if you have 3 or 4 devices in your room, just make sure you have the one you need. Because all those 4 devices will just be creating just noise and distractions for you. And would you rather concentrate on your work and get it done whilst you're doing it? Or do you want to spend all night doing that work, but also sending messages back to your mates, and then realising that at the end of the night you haven't actually completed it? Then you've got to spend another day trying to catch up on the work you haven't done. All these tips, you have to use them together for you to improve with your time management. Because if you just do a few of these things, or 1 or 2 of these things, of course, yes, it will help you a bit. If you want to get the maximal benefits of good time management, try and incorporate all of these at the same time. You guys will have a lot of things to do, as I've already said. You've got essays to do, you've got problem sheets to do, you will have training to go to, you have rehearsals to go to. One thing I really want to reiterate is don't spend too much time on it. If it's a rehearsal, get there, do the rehearsal, get back. For my rowing training, for example, I go there, I row, I come back. Cut the faff. When you're doing a problem sheet, you mentioned earlier, sometimes you've got a coding task to do. Your supervisor mentioned, this is a 5-hour task, don't spend more than 8 hours on it. Because if you think about it, after 8 hours, you become bored of it. You don't understand things anymore. You're quite disorientated as to what's going on. And you're confused. And if you're confused, there's no point looking at the same sheet of paper again and again. Either to help this confusion, talk to someone. Discuss it with friends. When you're going for dinner, just be like, yeah, I was doing the problem sheet. What do you think about it? Do you have any ideas about what to do? What did you do? How did you do it? Can I see your problem sheet maybe to try and give me some inspiration? Or maybe look at a YouTube video or ask your school teacher. By talking to people, you can make your life a lot easier when you're stuck, especially. And I get stuck once in a while as well. I'm sure you guys do too. I don't think that staring at something is going to make it better. If it doesn't make sense, at least move on, finish the other stuff, then come back to it at the end to finish it off.
Great thing about Cambridge is that everyone's so willing to help each other out.
Yeah.
I mean, except for one subject, but I'm not going to mention that.
What is it, okay?
It's law.
Oh,
like,
fine.
all the students are just really against each other for some reason. It's like a competition.
Yeah, who gets the best pupillage or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, a big thing I'd like to point out actually is that what I've learned from being at uni is that the supervisors, which is sort of like equivalent to a teacher at school, is that they're there to help you learn. They're not going to be upset if you weren't able to complete something. They're there to help you out most of the time. The best piece of advice about this that I could give to GCSE or A-level students is email your teachers. You have no idea how much they appreciate students sort of getting in contact with them and really showing that they're engaged and care about learning. Because at the end of the day, if you hand in a piece of work and just it's half complete and you say, couldn't do it, that's not going to be as valuable for them as if you emailed them beforehand saying that you were really struggling and maybe could you meet with them and help you out with it.
Teachers, even from my opinion as well, they are more than happy to help you. They want you to learn, they want you to succeed. And I have heard some people hate their teachers, some people have gripes with their teachers. But at the end of the day, teachers are there to help us. They're there to teach us. They're there to make us better people. And if they're offering us this hand of help, might as well take it. And if you are stuck, speak to them. And think about it. 5 minutes of their time, they sacrifice their time and they give you 5 minutes of tips. And those 5 minutes can help you completely change your understanding of a topic. And this thing that you didn't understand for 2 months, within 5 minutes, you now know so well. It can be truly pivotal in your understanding of a certain part of your course.
So to summarize, the 5 tips that we're giving you are, firstly, to find things to do. Secondly, to tick things off as you do them. Thirdly, try to finish things earlier in the week rather than later. So get a calendar. The fourth tip is to switch off occasionally to try to be more productive. And finally, discuss with your peers and your teachers to try to sort things out.
And don't spend too long on pieces of work.
Don't spend too long.
Be short, snappy, and get it done fast. I know myself that when I was studying for my GCSEs, time management was something I struggled. And I developed my time management through rowing. It provided me with structure in the day. But me rowing is one of the things that we told you here. I found things to do. And finding these things to do will help you structure your day. And once you structure your day, things will just fall in place and you'll be so much more productive. And time management isn't something that is its own thing. Time management is weaved into your day. It's part of you. It's part of being productive. It's part of being successful, right? And if you can get this aspect of time management nailed, if you incorporate these 5 tips into your lives, I think that you can truly achieve 10 times as many things as you are achieving now. Thank you so much to Zeb for joining me today, or actually for me joining him at his college to make this video. And once again, please do check out his channel. I really find his content super inspiring and very interesting. Actually, it's a completely different take on what you'd expect from a Cambridge student. You know, if you're feeling nice, do subscribe and give him a few likes on his videos as well. So thank you so much for watching. Do you want to say thank you to my audience for watching?
Yeah, thank you. And if any of you aren't actually subscribed, subscribe to Sen.
I would appreciate the subscription as well. And as always, if you've got any comments, do comment down below. And Zeb and I will be more than happy to answer them and get back to you on any questions you have. Lovely to see you all. I know it's been a while since the last video. So thank you for watching. And once again, thank you to Zeb so much. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. High five. Whoosh.